Hi, today I'm going to show you how I prepare an area right behind me to plant some sweet corn, some squash winter honey nut, and some bean poles, and they make the three sisters, which is a great combination. They grow well together. The corn will grow and act as a pole or a climbing pole for the beans, and then the honey nut squash will grow on the ground and act as a cover crop and prevent the weeds from growing. So I'm gonna prepare a new area. I'll show you the steps that I do, and yeah, let's get into it. So the first step I'm gonna do is I'm going to hose down the area and get the soil loose, so it'll be easier for me to fork down. And yesterday I removed some of the weeds and kind of clean up the area, and that helped a lot. Now that I water down the soil, I'm gonna fork it. I'm gonna use this fork to do single digging, and single digging is just going down 12 inches of the top soil. So I'm just gonna go down and push it with my feet and kind of fork it back and forth. My soil is mostly clay, so before I plant anything, I make sure that I loosen up the soil. And if you have a very clay soil, I would say your best bet would be to do double digging instead of single digging. I did double digging in this soil about a year ago, so I'm hoping it will be okay. When you work the first 12 inches, mainly what I'm doing is loosening up the soil so it can get more air in. So once you're done with single digging, the soil will be higher than originally than when you started, because you've now made more air pockets into the soil, and that's gonna help the plant grow deeper roots, so it can reach minerals. And also for the corn, if it can have deeper roots, it's gonna help it anchor down, so when the wind blows, it's not gonna break down, and then you don't have to stake the corn. Now I'm just gonna hose it down again, because as I was doing the single digging, I saw a lot of spots that were still dry. Now I'm gonna prepare the other section, this one down here, and again I'm gonna do a single digging. I have some leftover compost here. I'm going to process it, and then I'm gonna put it on top of the area that I'm getting ready to plant some corn. I was able to process 1 5-gallon bucket of compost and also get some mulch. The leftover sticks from the compost, I'm going to be using it as mulch. Okay, I'm gonna mark off the area where I just worked on and that I'll be planting in. And that's to make sure my kids know not to step on this area until the corn is big enough, and also so I don't step on this area accidentally. So it's just an extra security step that I do for myself. I've done single dig in this bed. I have marked it so nobody steps on it, including myself, once I start putting the seeds down. And I have some compost here, and what I'm gonna do is just put about 3 to 4 inches of compost down, and then take my fork and just work it into the 4 inches of the soil, and then I'm gonna water it down really good, and then it'll be ready for the seeds. I'm gonna start with planting the corn sweet ambrosia first. I chose this one because it's gonna be ready in 75 days, and this area gets some shade, so I think it'll be, this corn will be able to grow within the next 75 days. I'm going to plant a seed every 6 inches, and that is very, very, very close for corn. But since this is a very small spot, I want to make sure that it gets pollinated properly. And I'm going to put 1 seed per hole, so that's 6 inches. And I'm just using my hori hori, which it has some measurements up to 6 inches. And I'm not covering it just yet because right next to it I'm going to plant the bean pole so they can go up. So I'm putting 1 bean pole seed per hole. Oh, that was the corn. And I'm planting the corn 1 inch deep, and the beans I'm doing 1 inch deep as well. So I'm going to be planting the bean pole Kentucky Wonder because this one it's good for drying, shelling, and green. So if I want to eat them right off, if I want to eat them green right off the vine, they'll be great. Or if I want to dry them for later use, they'll work great too. I'll put a grain of corn 1 inch deep, and right next to it I'll put a bean seed, and here's the next one. And today is June 16th, so I still have plenty of time with hot weather where the corn and the beans will be able to grow. And once I'm done putting the seeds, I just go back and put soil on top and pat it a little bit to make sure that the seed makes good contact with the soil. Once you planted the seeds, you want to keep them moist until they sprout. I would say water it every other day once it sprouts, because it's gonna start getting really hot, and corn is a crop that needs a lot of water. So even in the summer, you want to come out and give it a good watering. Thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna plant the squash winter honey nut, and it should take about 110 days for the butternut to be ready. It comes in this little package. I'm gonna put 2 seeds, and once they sprout and I see their true leaves, I'm going to keep the best one. So I'm gonna put it on this corner actually. I'm gonna make a little compost mount. With the compost mulch that I got after swifting the compost, I just made a small pile so I can plant the butternut squash in here. So I'm just gonna give this a really good watering, and then I'm gonna put 2 to 3 seeds in here and just keep it moist until they sprout.